You're my first, I guess, remote guest. Usually, we've got people in this sauna behind me. We're sweating it out. Well, Gangaji, I'm so happy, that I could speak with you. One question, I'm just curious. What are you excited about these days?
I'm really excited to still be. I'm 80 years old now. I turned 80 this summer, so I really treasure life. I'm not excited about a lot of things politically and globally, and things that are happening here in Ashland, the homeless issues. But under that, and penetrating everything I'm just really happy to be.
I need to visit you again because you're
Yes.
the energy. You're such an incredible teacher, human being, and
Mm.
I want to share your story with the listeners. So I'd like to go back, from the
Mm.
beginning. Tell us a little bit about your journey in search of freedom.
Well, really, initially, I was just searching for happiness because I felt myself to be miserable. I was young. I was 11 years old, and my family life was a mess, and I didn't feel like I had any friends. And I recognized, I think this is the key piece, that I was unhappy, and I wanted to be happy. And so I somehow made a resolution to do whatever was needed to get happy. And that meant be friendlier to people, speak their name when you say hello. I mean, there were techniques that you could learn.
How to win friends and influence people.
Yeah,
Those tricks. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it works. People started smiling back, and I did get much happier. But of course, that was just the really, really top of the wave. That underneath that was suffering, and I wanted to be free of suffering. I couldn't have verbalized that then. But then 40 years later, I met Papaji because I was still suffering. I mean, yeah, I was still suffering. I had had great experiences and my life was good. I was in a good marriage. But underneath that, I was, I guess, afraid of some return or regression to a hell realm. And I knew that I was incomplete somehow. I prayed for a teacher, never having wanted a guru or a kind of permanent teacher. I had been with several teachers by then. I was living in the Bay Area, California, and it was great. And there were lots of teachers coming through, and I had gained a lot of good experience and knowledge from those. But I was praying for something deeper, something that would really show me what I just hadn't seen. As good as my life was, there was still an undercurrent of suffering and bondage to that suffering. So I met Papaji miraculously, and the first thing he said, he threw open his arms, he said, "Welcome, come in. What do you want?" And I said, "Freedom." I wouldn't have necessarily verbalized it that way, but that's what he drew out of me. And he said, "Good, you're in the right place. Just come in, sit down, don't do anything." So, since I'd been trained to meditate by that time, I sat down and did nothing, which to me meant, I started watching my breath. I was dropping into a meditative state. And he said, "No, that's fine, but that's not what I'm talking about. Stop that too."
Wow.
So, yeah, wow. I felt a wave of terror go through me. And I really remembered that time when I was 11 years old and miserable. And I had a fear that I would regress back to that state, that miserable, unhappy state, if I didn't do something to keep me up or keep me free of negativity, or however I was phrasing it. And I felt I would lose everything I'd gained. And I told him that. And he said, "That's right. You have to lose everything you have gained, so then you can see what is always here and has always been here."